And we are back. And in this time of ghoulishly good fun, we decided to check out 1981's Scanners, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes. This is brought to us by writer-director David Cronenberg and is tagged as body horror, conspiracy thriller, tragedy, horror, sci-fi, and thriller. I think all of that tracks. According to the IMDb blurb, it is a scientist trains a man with an advanced telepathic ability called scanning to stop a dangerous scanner with extraordinary psychic powers from waging war against non-scanners. And the tagline on the movie poster is, there are 4 billion people on Earth, 237 are scanners. They have the most terrifying powers ever created, and they are winning. This featured Jennifer O'Neill, Stephen Lack as the main male character, Cameron, and also Michael Ironside as the Heavy. We've seen this numerous times, but that head exploding scene just doesn't get old, does it?
It's one of my favorite things ever. It really is. I have like for years I've had that GIF on my computer, and
as you should, you should.
And anytime I need a little chuckle, I'll just bring it up.
It is. We did a little bit of a deep dive on this, and sort of the backstory to this production is quite insane.
A lot of hoops were jumped through in order to take advantage of taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It always comes back to money, doesn't it?
Oh, of course.
But just, I mean, from the things that we read, like Stephen Lack, the main actor, wasn't an actor. Really, I think he was like a photographer and a screenwriter.
And an artist.
And an artist of some sort, yes. And not really an actor or even in the union, but I guess I think they said something about like his improvisation really worked here because he was like, yeah, sure. And I think the other big piece of information that we gleaned from our mini deep dive was that Cronenberg was writing the script in the early mornings.
Yeah.
Which is so bananas.
It was just he'd figure out what they were filmed that day, and he would write those scenes. And apparently not having a like a real actor was kind of a benefit because Lack was just like, all right.
Yeah, whatever.
What do I got to read today?
Yeah, exactly.
And he just did it. And a lot of it had to do with I would say one of the things that you'll often hear about this, and aside from the exploding head, is that Stephen Lack is just a terrible actor.
Yes. I think that was what started us on the mini deep dive.
Because it felt kind of validating because as I'm watching it, because this is really probably the first time I've sat and watched it from beginning to end. This is sort of one of those films where you catch it and you watch big chunks of it.
Right.
This is the first time I watched it from beginning to end, and as I'm watching it, one of the things that just stood out to me was, wow, this guy's not a very good actor. He's very wooden, like very wooden. And I understand that there are certain things where like you want a guy with like really like sort of soulless eyes almost, or he had very big, very blue eyes.
Yes.
And I
think that was the thing that we read, that was another.
That was kind of a selling point for him because they wanted somebody who looked like he was like staring at you and like looking into you. And that makes sense for the character because you're dealing with people who have these amazing psychic powers where they're able to blow people's heads up or read people's minds, or actually there's like parts of the film where they're interfacing with technology. They're actually like, it's almost like they're a modem and they're just connecting to the internet through their mind. And
that's how Michael Ironside blows up the guy's head like a melon. Like 1980s Gallagher with a watermelon.
Which was interesting how they did that, because apparently there was like the dummy basically had like a shotgun underneath it. And like they just used the shotgun and blew up this gelatin head filled with like stringy bits and hamburger and stuff like that.
God.
And it looked amazing. But back to Lack. his performance was lacking. Yeah. Hey, look at that.
So kind of to springboard off of that, I mean, I'm glad that no one was killed with the shotgun. But another thing that we learned that on the first day, 2 people were killed because driver
apparently
wasn't paying attention and just
I don't think they were
women.
Yeah, I don't think they were part of the production. I think that it was like people nearby.
Yes. But still, that's a way to start your project.
I know that's. I would feel like the production was cursed at that point.
Yes.
I mean, how much worse could it get?
Right,
you know what? Maybe that's what they felt. It was just like, well, it can't get any worse than this. It's only uphill from here.
I think we also read that like Jennifer O'Neill had like clashes with Patrick McGugan on set, and that also added to, I guess, Cronenberg's agita during this production. He basically said, although this movie went on to do really well for him financially, but
it was like his first major hit.
Yeah, it was at the time. It was just one batshit occurrence after another.
Yeah, plus the fact that he's just writing it as he's coming in the morning, and as we mentioned, jumping through all these hoops for these tax purposes. There were no sets built or anything like that. It was done very cheaply.
And this is 1981, and I also want to preface this by saying that I like old Cronenberg a lot. Videodrome, The Fly, this newer stuff, you can miss me with all of that. But I think this also paved the way for a lot of younger would-be directors because he really embraced it. I think like a younger audience, like we didn't watch this with the kids, but you and I watched it. It was on Turner and we watched it, and it's funny because I feel like younger audiences would look at this and be like, what am I watching? Right? I don't think that they have the patience for something like this. However, for us, this was really inventive and interesting, and it wasn't like other films. There was something very unique about this. The topic, the way it was shot, the storytelling in it, everything felt very new. So now you have younger would-be filmmakers who are watching this and are incredibly influenced by Cronenberg. I mean, when you talk about body horror, right? Mm-hmm. Cronenberg is
his name's synonymous with it.
Yeah, exactly. He is the template for other storytellers and other directors because of how he paved the way.
Yeah, I mean, there was for modern crowds, there was that episode of Rick and Morty where they basically turned everybody into Cronenbergs. That's the literal word they used. They created Cronenberg people.
Yeah. But it's just interesting because it's like, I'm sure he didn't go into this hoping to be the godfather of body horror movies, but just that's kind of the way it sort of worked itself out.
Well, I think he has like a fascination with that. So
yes, because it's very prevalent in his work.
It's very prevalent in a lot of his stuff, to the point where it's almost he's fallen into a parody of himself with like
newer stuff.
We saw as much as we could tolerate of that last film that he did.
I don't know if it was the last one. I think it was the second to last one.
Whatever the hell that thing was, it was awful. Also, which was, you know what was funny about that one? What the hell was that thing called? A History of something. I don't know.
Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future. That was a turd. But the thing about it that sort of reminds me of Scanners is the acting was terrible.
Yes.
And those were like
Viggo Mortensen and Kristen Stewart and all these other people. I was like, what? Yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, these are actual real They could do better than that. I've seen Kristen Stewart and stuff, and yeah, I've seen her do better. She was great in that. What was it? Love Lies Bleeding?
Yeah. 100% agree. And I think that that's kind of interesting because he's still making films. I mean, it seems like there's still like demand for him. I don't know if it's like the nostalgia people, because so I should preface this by saying that we saw that Crimes of the Future film for my Wednesday night film discussion, and I could not finish it. I absolutely hated it from start to whenever we turned it off.
Yeah. And it felt like it was basically body horror for the sake of body horror.
Yes, and it felt like he was just recycling stuff. Or to your point, yes, body horror for the sake of body horror. It didn't add to the story. It wasn't meaningful. Like, I'm so gratified. I mean, earlier this year we saw The Substance, which uses body horror to a more magnificent end. But here, well, it's not overdone.
Not really. I mean, there's like gruesome manifestations of this power, like we mentioned with the head exploding, and also just when they're I guess psychically dueling, especially at the end when Michael Ironsides and
Cameron and Darryl.
Cameron and Revok, whatever his name was, they have their final duel, and you see like pulsing veins and eyes exploding and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's not overdone. It's there to serve a purpose. It's there to show the physical toll that this power inflicts upon the people who wield it. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, oh, I'm going to grow an organ inside my body for no apparent reason.
And again, not to take away, because I did enjoy the film, right? But it is very dated. However, we talk about like remakes and stuff. Something like this is something that I think would be ripe for a reboot or a remake of some kind. And because the bones of the story, are so
exactly.
good still.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that makes it interesting is it's basically like a conspiracy thriller with this fantastical elements put on top of it.
Yeah, and
it works. It works together.
And I feel like now we have the quality effects that something like this would absolutely need, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we look at the head exploding and whatnot, and it kind of makes us almost giggle a little.
Yes,
because it's
so
over the
silly.
top,
yeah.
and you could see, okay, that's a dummy's head, but now you could make it like super realistic where it would actually make people squeamish again. Yeah, back then I'm sure it made people squeamish, but now it's kind of hilarious. I mean, we just recently watched Ricki-O,
which is so over the top.
Which is absolutely over the top, but it has that charm, that aesthetic of that old style. We want to make something amazing, and we're going to use our skills to make it. There's something really wonderful about that handmade massive gore.
Agreed.
There's a charm to it that you just got to love.
Yeah, and I think also, so I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the pod, but you and I both went to film school, not together and not in the same place, but when I went to film school, I had a teacher who taught at my college, but also taught at NYU, and he always said that because of I went to a CUNY school, I went to Hunter, and because of our financial limitations, we were more creative in our storytelling, and he always enjoyed watching the stuff that we would make because we were very scrappy and we had these really interesting stories to tell, and we always did it in a way that ultimately prevailed because we were just thinking, okay, so I have to have a monster because this is my script. Like, how am I going to achieve that? So because we didn't have the resources, we had to really kind of think on the fly. And I felt like in this film, like I felt that like this is such a labor of love for him. However, also constricted by these financial requirements because he had to have it in by a certain time and all this other stuff. So he's working against the clock to sort of produce this whole thing and have it out. And I think there's things in it that still hold up. I think there's things in it that could be reworked for a modern audience and maybe expanded or changed a bit. But I think ultimately, like I said, the bones of this story really hold up and are strong and would even, with a few modifications, work for like today's audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you could totally translate this to modern times. There are like certain aspects of this film that kind of predate the internet, but it's basically sort of like the internet where he's communicating with computers over phones, and just that fact that like now you have people who are willing to put stuff into their bodies so that they could interact with technology. Neuralink and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, you could definitely update this for a modern audience with modern effects. Hopefully a better lead actor. I'm sorry, I'm just ragging on this dude. Poor guy, but he probably doesn't care. He knows what he did.
I mean, he gets a check every time they play this, so he don't.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what he did.
So this, according to some of our research, had a budget of about $4 million. It grossed a little under $3 million in its opening weekend in 387 theaters and went on to ultimately earn $14 million domestically.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
return on investment. So kudos to the productions and to Cronenberg specifically for putting out this interesting bit of storytelling, which at the time seemed very unique and subversive at the same time, because there's definite social commentary here.
Yeah,
but in a entertaining, silly way.
Yeah.
Do you want to highlight anything else, or should we give our numbers?
I would probably just say that as far as a film from, when this, 1981?
81, yeah.
Yeah, from a film from 1981, it still holds up decently. Like I said, you're not going to be wowed by Stephen Lack's performance. It may distract you a little bit, but there's enough there where you're just sort of like, this is interesting. And as you mentioned, yeah, this could be remade and updated. The story itself, as far as like people with powers being hunted by organizations or government, that's kind of nothing new. Right. That aspect has been redone many times, but yeah, this still holds up as far as that goes. If I were to give it a number, I'd probably give it like maybe like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking 6.5.
Okay, there you go, 6.5. It's not the greatest thing you'll ever see.
No.
In fact, the greatest thing in the movie is the head exploding scene,
which happens very early.
Very early. You don't have to wait to see it. And kudos to Michael Ironsides. As bad as Stephen Lack was, Michael Ironsides is great. He's always a menacing figure in everything he's in.
Yes.
Sometimes, like, there are certain films where he knows he's in just crap and he's just hamming it up.
Sure.
But this one, he was good. He had a creepy name, Revok.
Yeah. And then at the end, I mean, it doesn't matter that we spoil this. At the end, they're brothers or something. I was like, what?
Yeah, somehow they're brothers, and Patrick McGowan is their dad. Yes. It's like, what? Okay. And then let's just slap that on there. Why not?
And then after the final confrontation, Cameron jumps into Revok, right? I'm like, that was just not expected either, right?
Yeah. Somehow because like they're in the midst of the fight where like veins are pulsing and eyes are exploding. You just see sort of Cameron just suddenly, it almost like he achieves calm despite all this insanity.
Yes.
And I think that's when the big move happens.
Yeah, I just want to highlight and say, so prior to this film, he made The Brood, which we freaking love, especially the first, again, a strong opening, right? The first 5 minutes.
Is that Oliver Reed?
Yeah.
God, his Oliver Reed's little
soliloquy at the beginning is nuts.
His little therapy session with that guy, that is hilarious.
Yes. That never gets old either.
That never goes, and that's like good old school 80s bullying.
Well, actually, that came out in 79.
Oh, 79? Yeah. Okay, even more powerful.
Yes.
It's like that old style bullying that people like you and me grew up with.
Yes, exactly.
Where there would be somebody who'd be like, "What are you, a little girl? Maybe your name's Mary. Maybe I should call you Mary from now on."
Exactly.
Delivered in that eloquent Oliver Reed manner.
Exactly. So he went on, and again, this is all opinions. This is just my opinion. I feel like his best days are behind him. But in this time, he did The Brood in 79. He did Scanners in 81. He did Videodrome in 83. He did The Dead Zone in 83. He did The Fly, which I think is his magnum opus.
Yeah, I think The Fly is his pinnacle.
Yeah. He did Dead Ringers, which is also a fantastic film, in 88. And then we go into the 90s. And he does Naked Lunch, Crash. Oh, he did M. Butterfly. I forgot about that. Yeah. So And I think Existence also gets a lot of praise. I'd have to watch that again. I haven't seen that since
I don't think
forever.
I've ever seen that one.
No?
No.
Maybe we should do like a Cronenberg retrospective since we are in the month of spooky season, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we should definitely get Fly, because I feel like that is his piece de résistance. I don't know.
Yeah. And anybody out there, if you got any comments after you hopefully like and subscribe, let us know what your favorite Cronenberg movie is.
Yes, absolutely.
And
put that in the comments.
Maybe we'll put that in the queue.
Yes, listeners, if you'd love to see something, if you'd like us to see something and review it for a future episode, especially now in spooky season, since Mr. Cronenberg is the godfather of body horror, we'd love to hear it. Again, this is Scanners from 1981 with a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes. It's rated R. It's playing on Max, but we caught it on
TCM, didn't we?
TCM, yes.
Yeah. Which is like, why the hell was that on TCM?
I don't know. Was it one of those things that was hosted by some? I don't even remember.
Maybe.
Because we actually saw it a few days back, but it's okay. Yeah, I think this holds up. And again, it'd be interesting to see if somebody wanted to take something like this and make it new again. Because I think conspiracy thrillers are...
Everybody loves conspiracy thrillers, especially nowadays.
I was going to say, I think that would totally track with
people
modern audiences.
Yeah, people are so desperate for conspiracies. They're just cranking them out. There's entire YouTube channels dedicated to it.
Sure. 1981's Scanners, rated R, with an hour and 43-minute runtime. Again, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you soon for another review during our 31 days of Halloween. And with that, we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.